bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye.
Mount Rushmore, whatever you call it. But here's why. Part 3 of why I canceled that wedding. Well, y'all, here's part 3 of why I walked away and canceled that wedding. So as I finished wrapping it up in part 2, I had started going to the nursing home with him, his mom, and everything like that. Not to even bring it up, but just telling the story because it's my story. So, as you already know, he got on his knees in low.
Yes, I will. Do you have a ring?
Right there. I was like, okay, it's not romantic, but I was a little frantic or whatever. But at the end of the day, you did it. When you first saw me, you said the Holy Spirit told you I was going to be your wife. So you were standing on business. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm here for it. So we went through the process, going through everything with his mom. I was being his moral support, what I least thought or knew the best I knew how to do for a man. You know what I'm saying? Because a man is the head. He can't lead without God, and a woman, we supposed to be the neck. So he can't move without us. But we was on our way. I tell y'all this was so alarming. When I should have seen the red flags, the blue flags, I should have been in that thing like I was the referee. We goes to the nursing home in Jessup, Georgia, to visit his mom. You got this lady sitting there in a wheelchair. Not the mama, not y'all. Some other lady. I know she was from Brunswick, whatever. She's still in there, whatever. Her name was something Rama. I don't know her name because I've never seen her in my life. Don't know the lady. All I know, he walked in. Now, he was an attractive dude. Don't get me wrong. Carmel Brown, Bowleg. Okay, yeah, that was him. And she called this full government name. Oh, damn, right. I was like, so when she looked at me, she talking about, oh, you must be the one my homegirl Newberry talking about. So I'm looking at her sitting in that wheelchair like you sitting over there looking like Pillsbury Doughboy. But I didn't say anything, you guys. That lady had the audacity. Milo, grandma talking. It's story time. She had the audacity to look at him and say, oh, you want to be Captain Saber. So I'm looking at her like, you realize you in this wheelchair. Not one time did he say, oh, no, hold on. He said, hold on, and called her name and was like, this my fiance. She was like, oh, I know. Newberry told me, so I didn't say nothing to it. I walked by like the queen I was, sitting up there looking at her. She told me, oh, you know in high school you were supposed to give me that. So I'm like, this disrespect, my mouth even got twisted. Because I was being very mindful, like this lady is in a wheelchair. I know you don't work here because you don't have on a scrub, so you definitely are a client. You are here in the old folks home, nursing home, and you talking about this? So when we left, I go and tell his sister about it or whatever. And she was like, oh, girl, don't worry about her. That's such and such. A man had paid her $25 to suck a German Shepherd penis. Oh. But she said the thing, I was like,
a few moments later, a few inches later.
So a lot of that, move on, press on, all of that, because, baby, we were in love. And everything was right. It was timing. It was everything. Baby, the venue had been booked. You seen them big rocks. These are the invitations. One thing I cannot do is sit up and act like I'm not devastated. I wasn't hurt or I wasn't shaken. Yes, I was. And this is hit why I'm here now. The big R was for Roberts. The colors was for royalty and gold. Because, baby, it was definitely about to be a movie. October the 6th, 2024 was the date that was set. Yes, at the Crystal Ballroom in St. Augustine. Also had the ballroom behind that we was going to have the pre-wedding thing. When I say it was laid out, it was definitely laid out. No, everyone wasn't invited. No, everyone didn't have a... So, yes, it was about to be a movie. Yeah, okay, don't worry about it. Bridesmaids was selected, and I had the top of the creme de la creme because my girls was going to show up. And one thing about me, I selected individuals that had been a part of my life, but were impactful in my life. Just because you was my cousin, my auntie, my mama, my niece, my sister, and you knew me, that doesn't mean you were selected. You were asked. It was a person that had made an impact in my life. But moving on, baby, they were picked. We had a whole website, did the layout pictures. Y'all see the pictures? Oh, baby, it was beautiful. But as time continued to go on, baby, sometimes when you got to sit and look, you got to watch as well as pray. And I was sitting there watching and praying. We going through the process, you know, going through it with his mom and everything. And that's my lane. That's my era, to know how to be nourishing, know how to be you. One thing about it, baby, food right, cook right, snappers right, her. So, listen, I might be saved, but don't do that. Don't do that. I ain't always been saved. Y'all acting like y'all so saved that y'all ain't even sanctified. Listen. You're acting like you're so sanctified that you ain't even satisfied. Okay, but moving right along. Other things began to reveal. We were already going through therapy, you know, via phone, talking to the therapist. And I was like, baby, you have to learn how to effectively communicate. I'm not talking down on you. I'm not trying to make you be something else. I'm not trying to judge you, but I'm telling you, cuckoo-doo-doo-doo. You've been behind these walls for 20 plus years, and it's something we got to get on one accord. Get on one accord. Learn how to make this household flow. Learn how to get on each other. So I began to notice that you was a little two-faced there. What I mean by that, you was unbalanced in your family. You would say something, y'all bickering, y'all going through that, but I'm being your confident. Sitting on the side, riding like, I'll talk to you when we home and laying down saying, baby, now that's not right. You shouldn't talk like that. You shouldn't say that. You know, and if that's what happened, you got to face it. You got to acknowledge it, deal with it, and then move forward from it. Voila! Baby, why this man, you acting like everything is okay. You're acting like it's all right. So we're planning. We set the date. Had everything set for the wedding. Baby, when I tell you one thing about me, structure, decent, in order, that's what it's going to be. And I know I have a humongous family. But I told him, I said, baby, we capping it off at 100. You get 50 people, I get 50 people. Baby, why we did that? Stuff broke out everywhere. You got one niece on Facebook inboxing, starting drama and chaos. Talking about, oh, well, I want to ask you for money. First of all, you don't even know me really in real life. But you call and ask for money for your children, for your kids, for that. And I had to really tell her, I don't want to post those messages because it's that'll be messy. But I got them, the receipt. You and my, hey, auntie, I could get $25 to take the children to the pool. Baby, I didn't even know you had kids. The first time you reached out, you was like, my baby needs some milk. I was like, okay, whatever, because he said he wasn't coming. I got the phone because I remember being a single mother with 4 children. I say, no, this time I'm finna come and bring you a couple of dollars, and I'm going to go to Winn-Dixie and buy the milk. Now, at that time, y'all, I didn't know no milk was $34 a can. So what the real meaning of putting your foot in your mouth, I had went and bought the 2 cans of milk, took them to her and gave her the money. And I looked on her face and say, listen, your uncle didn't come. And he said he wasn't coming. But listen, so you can know, your auntie, I'm not that type. Because long as you got that between your legs, baby, you should never be broke. But utilize this up here so you don't have to test no mattresses. And we'll know that and be on one accord because I'm not an ATM. I'm going to help you align. I'm going to teach you. And then I'm going to help you make money. That's the only ATM I'll be. I said what I meant and I meant what I said. So when she got in the inbox saying, oh, I wanted to know if I could be a bridesmaid, my bridesmaids are already picked. But before she said that, asked that question, she went into a little thing, I guess the situation she was going through. So, you know, text messages could be misconstrued. So I say, are you okay? She blew that up. Baby, she turned that molehill into a mountain. I mean, a whole mountain. Wait a minute, why is all this going left like that, baby? So, you know, as time passes and everything, his mom passes away. R.I.P. Listen, now y'all know our culture. We only come together for funerals and stuff like that. We don't get together to support each other most of the time. Or they don't get together to really come together and be like that. So into ways. Hold on, y'all. All this time, I was like, babe, we could have something at the house. You know, we could be the host that you bring the family together. Now, if I would have listened to that man, if I would have listened to that man say, not my family. They messy, they're dysfunctional, But I'm thinking in my head, oh, baby, everybody's family might be a little dysfunctional. Not that. I take it upon my little short, nappy head self to go and try to plan something. Now, the first flow of it went right. And this me, y'all. This me now. Y'all know I was heavy. I say, baby, we got to see. But one thing about me, I'm going to watch as well as pray. I know we building this big movie production as a wedding. So I say, well, just in case the ones he invite, let me see what they going to act like. So we put 30 bottles of liquor out on the table at the house. I had to cook up because I love to cook. I love unity. I love to get this. And I told them, invite all of them. Invite the sisters, the cousins, all of them. But I tell you, I had the top shelf out. The Hennessy, the Don Julio, the Patron, everything. Because I wanted to see. Okay, let's see when they consume, how they gonna act. Because however you act right here in Little Brunswick, that's how you gonna act up there at that wedding. Now, remind you, we want to get married in Brunswick. There's one thing that man said. I didn't make that decision. He said that I just don't want to get married in Brunswick. Baby, when he said that, I went to tell him, whoa, because I didn't either. I did really want the destination wedding, but he was like, most of them probably don't have their passport. And I was looking at him like, you got yours, I got mine. You got yours, I got mine. I could get the 2 little children on because I ain't marrying all of them. But I didn't want to seem selfish. I was like, okay, you right. So I brought on my godmama. Thank God for her, Mama Cat. She's a wedding planner. She designed weddings. So I said, Ma, I want you to go with me every step of the way. Because my first marriage, y'all know I was married before. I was married for 16 years. Okay, cap that, TT, in case they want to say something. And that was a big, nice wedding as well. I had a horse, carriage, all that. But that was then when it was by fraud. Don't worry about it. I had everything you could have wanted. The ice. Okay, but wait. So this time around, I said, I don't want to do anything I had done then. Far as how I act, how I portrayed it, or anything. I wanted everything to be right. I wanted everything to be righteous. Right? So I'm sitting up here like, wait a minute. I'm super excited, you guys. The venue is picked. Y'all can go ahead and Google it. Look up St. Augustine, the Crystal Ballroom. Baby, let me tell you, I told them I wanted chandeliers, the drapes hanging from the ceiling. And one thing I could say, Mr. Bootney gave me everything my heart desires. What I mean by that, he was like, baby, cut whatever they wanted. We're going to set the payment plan and we cut the check. Because I told him, baby, what I don't want to do is to walk into no wedding and walk out in debt. That ain't what we're doing. He said, baby, whatever you want. I say everything, anything. I don't have nothing bad to say about him, bashing him, or anything because that's not me. And you are a good man. You were a great man to me. It's just your thinking patterns and everything. And how you allowed your family. So ladies, what I wanted to say to you today is whatever don't serve you and don't feel right, do not be afraid to walk away. Because baby, after all of that planning and doing all that, we sitting up there, I'm like, baby, this is it. We going through this. We got the invitations in the mail. Y'all seen them. Look at the lavish, passing them out. Not that it's all about that because it was about the unity, the togetherness. Baby, we laying in the bed one day. I reach over there, get the phone. Hold up. Wait a minute. It's going off. You acting like you sleeping to a coma. I look. You messing with your... Oh, if y'all want to know the next step of what happened or who he was messaging, comment next.